Hey, welcome. This is Adrena Turner reading from Mayor Beware as Dream Some More. Yes, that is my pen name. This is for young adult. It's an inspirational urban drama. But I'm pleased to say that 30-year-old to 85-year-old women are the ones purchasing this book. But I really have geared towards the 14-year-olds to the 19-year-olds, the older teens. And so this is the book, Mayor Beware. And this is not me on the cover. So I wanted to make sure I put these close so that you can see. No. Okay, anyway, let's go ahead and dig in for reading for Mayor Beware. Now, mind you, I am an actress, so you may get into the story based on that. And let's go into the synopsis, which some of you turn to the back of the book. Mayor Beware, Antoinette Rogers, known by everyone as Toni, is a stunning, vibrant young girl that loves the Lord with the aspirations of playing for the WNBA. Toni is torn between what she knows to be true and her dreams of being a basketball star when she meets Mike, who is a famous rap artist. Mike introduces Toni to a fantasy life of money, fame, and glamour. Toni becomes addicted to this new way of life, causing her to turn away from God and into a downward spiral of destructive behavior. Will Toni be able to find her way back to God, discover true love, and fulfill her dream? Or is it too late for Toni dreams to become a reality? Again, this is a reading, Mayor Beware by Dream Some More. And you can find your copy at gstreetchronicles.com on the inspirational side or on amazon.com and where books are sold. And you can also get it on our website at www.dreamsumore.webs.com. Again, that's dreamsomemore.webs.com, and you can find out more about Dream Some More there and join us and become a member, because you never know, you might win a free copy. And January 3rd, I will be on K Don's Blogspot where you can win a copy of Mayor Beware. So I'll keep you on updates on Facebook, okay? Those of you that join the Dream Some More fan group, you will be notified about that, okay? All right, so I want a little background music, and I hope that it doesn't distract anything as I do this reading. Okay, let's get into it. Mayor Beware by Dream Some More. Chapter 1. Antoinette Rogers was admitted to the new group home after her mother had another blackout. She missed over a month of school. The home phone number was disconnected. So the school administrator, the police, and a social worker actually came to the house to find out why she had been absent for so long. A loud bang on the front door woke Antoinette, who rose from her bed and came into the living room to find her mother passed out on the brown floor pattern couch with an empty 40-ounce bottle of malt liquor lying on the shabby yellowish carpet just below, dangling fingertips. Antoinette slowly opened the door, rubbed the sleep from her eyes, and squinted from the bright sunlight. Seeing the police officer, school administrator, and social worker, she was wondering if they were coming to arrest her mother for child neglect. Could they do that? Antoinette opened the door just a crack. "Hello? Is your mother home?" The police officer's voice was stern. Antoinette read the name on his badge, Officer Spears. She saw the welfare woman on the left side and the school administrator on his right. "Oh, no, Mama. They aren't taking me out of this house again. I would not go to another foster home," she screamed inside. "Yes, what is that about?" Antoinette sassed. Her heart raced. She didn't want to let them in. She thought of how most actors responded in detective movies when a cop asked for someone. She blurted out, "Do you have a warrant?" "Excuse me, Antoinette. Remember me? I am Mrs. Smith, your social worker." For the Department of Social Welfare and Housing, we've been notified that you have been attending school. I have your school records supplied by your school administrator, Mr. Zhang. We have a right to speak to your mother. Mrs. Smith slightly raised the black leather briefcase at the side to indicate that the school records and other paperwork were inside. She was so frustrated to have to come to another dysfunctional home and have to move the child to foster care. She knew it was the best to bring a police officer to avoid any fights or objects thrown at her, endangering her life just for an entry-level wage. I know who you are, Miss Smith. I don't have to answer to you or no cop, Antoinette snapped. She tried to shut the door, but the police officer pushed it back open and stepped inside of the home with Mrs. Smith and Mr. Zhang following close behind. The stench of mildew, spoiled food, dirty clothes, and trash filled the kitchen and living room. Mrs. Smith held her breath as she stepped inside, eyeing the pizza boxes and clothes scattered all over the place. Pests crossed over the mildew pizza. Her face showed her disgust, and a little ugh escaped her lips. Antoinette's mother was lying on the couch in her own filth, hair unkept and matted, yellowish white t-shirt and red panties on. Hung over her body slouched the end of the raggedy couch. Officer Spears kicked the 40-ounce bottle near her fingertips and yelled, "Ma'am, wake up!" Startled by the blaring male voice, Elaine woke up from her sleep and blinked her eyes open, slurring her words as she waved her hands hysterically. "Who are you and what are you doing in my house? Tony, get these people out of my house!" Mrs. Smith kicked one foot in front of the other to clear a path and then placed her hands firmly on her hips. Elaine sat upright on the couch to hear what the social worker had to say and why these other people were in her home. Mrs. Smith couldn't imagine the filth in such a place. She brushed off any dirt and debris from her hands before sitting on the kitchen chair that she carried onto the living room. Then she opened her briefcase and took out the school records. She marked her paperwork with axes, scribbling notes on the left side for her records as she spoke in a professional demeanor. "After witnessing your living conditions and reviewing your daughter's school records, which show she had not been in school over a month, I can see that we will need to take some action. You are still receiving Social Security welfare benefits, and you have not abided to your obligations to keep receiving those benefits. Now we will have to require you to attend family counseling and drug and alcohol rehabilitation on a weekly basis instead of monthly, and your daughter will be placed in a safe environment until you are stabilized." "What the heck are you talking about, Miss Smith? What do you mean in a safe environment? This is a place you recommended for us to live, remember? You're the one who wanted us to get out of that rat hole apartment and into a Renaissance program to live in a HUD home. Or did I get that all mixed up?" Elaine snapped back. "Look, we tried to work with you so many times in the past. We've asked you to go to parenting and anger management classes. Now it's obvious you have resorted back to drugs and or alcohol for comfort. I have been assigned to your case for over 5 years, and I'm well aware of your status. I believe you changed and you wouldn't go back, but I was wrong. This is sad. Tony, you will be placed in a group home." Mrs. Smith remained cordial. "No, I don't belong in that place. You know I don't. When you sent me to that foster home when I was younger, they almost adopted me. You know that the cops had to remove me out of that man, out of the home after what he did to me when I was little. All you do is quote what's in your files. Plus, I don't want these people hearing all my business." Antoinette pointed to the officer and Mr. Zhang. "You said that you want families to remain together. I'd rather stay with my mother than be put in another foster home or group home. Please, Miss Smith, don't let them do this to me. She's better than she was. She just had one relapse." Tony whined and slapped her hand on her leg. She was upset. She felt like she backed into a tight corner and unable to escape the state's decision on her welfare. Tears welded in her eyes, but she held them back, wishing she could run out of the house before the police officer could restrain her. She clasped her hands tightly and cracked her knuckles. Where, and the last word says, after I close the book, where would I go? And I would love to share more of this in Mare Beware. And just keep me up in prayer, because I hope someday I can write this into a screenplay for a film or TV. And someone has already inquired about making a stage play with it. However, I wanted to get on the big screen someday. So enjoy your copy of Mare Beware. And you can also find it on the Dream Store at www.dream4more.webs.com, and click on the Dream Store, and also visit the website at Dream Some More. Let me move my hand. Dream Some More, SUMMORE.webs.com. And thank you for joining me here to dream for some more.